The Divre Yisrael, Rabbi Yisrael Mimudjitz, has an interesting question. Where did the custom of drinking alcohol on Friday before Shabbat come from? Let's take a look. Ita b'midrash Rabbah nun aleph dash tet. Parasha zu en kol Shabbat Shabbat she'en korim ba parashat shel Lot. It says in the midrash Rabbah that there is not one Shabbat that we don't read the parasha of Lot. What does that mean? Ayen sham. ובוודאי כך היה מנהגם עיין שם במתנות כהונה. והעניין יש לומר כך, והנה יש אנשים אשר בבוא שבת קודש לוקחים הקדושת שבת לקדושה רבה בכוס גדול ויש חזק. I think he's writing here like whiskey hazak. He says that before Shabbat, they take a big cup and they have a nice glass of whiskey. וסובר שהוא בזה חסיד גדול. He thinks that by going into the Shabbat with a buzz, he's a חסיד גדול. כי בוער כלפיד אש מתלהבות הוויסקי. So he becomes like a flame and he gets ignited from the whiskey. ואפשר שעל זה הוא שמרמז הפסוק לא תבערו אש ביום השבת והבן. And this is what it said in Shemot למד ה' ג' לא תבערו אש ביום השבת. Don't make a fire in your house. What do you mean? Don't drink alcohol that's going to make the stomach and the body be warm and hot. That's going to make an ish on the day of Shabbat. Don't drink alcohol. That's what they were saying specifically for this. That's why they would read the parasha of Lot every Shabbat to prevent them from doing this. What's the background of this? It says in Sotah, Daf Bet Amud Aleph, Lama nismecha parashat Nazir le Sotah. Why was the parasha of Nazir right next to Sotah? Shekol haroeh Sotah bikilkula. Whoever saw Sotah falling and failing, and that whole process where the woman was taken there and they stripped her and they took her head covering off. Whoever saw that, Yazir atzmo min hayayin, he should stay away from wine because she got to that point of doing what she did with another male that wasn't her husband because she started drinking and intoxicating herself. This is like my father had said. Originally, they would dip in the water in caves. And then they would put on top of them mayim shovim, water that was sha'ub, that they took out from the ground. Then they started saying that both waters were the ones that are healing, the ones from the me'ara and the ones that they were pouring on them. Then they came to the point they said the water from the me'ara that they would dip in, that wasn't kosher. It was the one that they were being sho'ev after the fact. That was the kosher one. They ended up putting on the second one, tum'ah, ayin sham. ככה הדבר הזה, חסידים הראשונים עמדו בחצות לילה לעסוק בתורה ועבודה וסיגופים וגלגול שלג ומקוואות וקרים. He goes, the original tzaddikim at Hatzot Laila on Friday, Yom Shishi, they would wake up from early in the morning, maybe even staying up all up Thursday night, learning Torah, avodah, tefillah, sigufim, v'gilgul sheleg. They would go into snow and thorns and do certain things that we don't do these things today. V'gilgul sheleg mikvaot v'karim, and they'll go into freezing cold waters, cold plunge baths and mikvaot. And in order to, after doing all this, of learning for 24 hours and being in the cold snow and the cold water, shatu me'at whiskey gamken. They had a little alcohol to warm up their body from all this. After learning for 24 hours and doing all these things, okay, they had a little cup to drink. When they started to make this a thing of kevi'ut, of doing it all the time, they would start to say, this was mitaher, the learning, the sigufim, the mikvaot, and also the whiskey, meaning this is just one part of becoming pure. Then they came to the point and said, it wasn't the learning of the mikvaot or all that was mitaher, but rather the final hit, which was the drink of the alcohol, of the whiskey. Shishtiyat whiskey, hu ikad b'hasidut. That was the ikad in the hasidut. Al ken shomen nafsho yirhak mizeh v'dai lemavin. And a person who wants to protect his soul, he will understand and stay away from it. So what they were saying here was that originally those who were drinking the alcohol or the whiskey were doing it for good reason because of what was previously being done, where they were, learning and staying up all night, and they were in freezing cold temperatures and cold waters and snow. Because of that, they had a reason. So they had a little scotch, a little whiskey to warm up their stomach, to get them to feel a little bit better. But when people started dropping all the learning, all the mikvaot, all of that stuff, and instead took the alcohol, that became a problem. And the Divre Yisrael was bringing that up. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen, Amen.